Welcome back to another episode of
Barbershop Talk Like This.
I'm your host, Trey the Barber.
And it's your other host, Dicethebarber.
It's your man Kush down here.
And today in the building, we have our man,
DJ B Original,
Yo,
a.k.a.
what up, what
my
up,
man
what up?
Benny. What's
What
going
up, what
on,
up, what
Benny?
up? Chilling, man. Yo, what's up, what's
What
up?
up? What'd you say, AKA what?
Benny.
That's me, that's me. What's up?
Big homie Benny. That's what
What's
I
up,
know,
what's up,
man.
what up,
See,
what up?
DJ B
What's up,
Original
man?
to the fans, but that's the big homie Benny right there.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for joining us here on
No
Barbershop
problem.
Talk Like this.
Yeah, no problem,
right.
no problem.
That's right.
First of all, there's a couple things we do when we kick our show off. The very first thing we do is we thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing each and every last one of us to be here, and just continue to bless us and our families and all of our endeavors, and amen. Second of all,
Amen.
Amen.
we have shots. Well, today we are working on limited.
Today we have
Limited.
a shot.
We have a
Everybody
shot.
take a swig.
Everybody got
A shot.
Because you are a guest, we will let you pour whatever it is that you would like first.
Dang, cause she
And
got
then-
me, cause she got me drinking. Yo,
My bad, Benny. My bad. I think I forgot to tell you we take a shot. I think I did tell you we take a shot
No,
at the
we take
beginning
a
of
shot.
every
That's-
episode.
He got a sip. He said, I'm going to have a little sip.
I barely drink.
Benny, we have people come through here that don't take shots.
You know what? No, listen, this is my first time here, so I'm gonna take a shot.
Okay.
Next time.
He
no.
gonna take a swig.
You
A
see-
swig,
look,
a
you
swig.
see Dice? You see what Dice get? You
2
see what I'm
cups,
saying?
yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Dice really
Nigga,
wanted
today's
the
your
bottle.
anniversary. You can't drink right now because you got a lot to do. I'm about to go home and chill, barbecue, and chill by the pool, nigga.
I'm about to go lay up on a massage table, get a massage. Me and my wife, couples massage.
No, word.
Okay.
Okay,
Word.
all right. That
Absolutely.
sounds real sexy. I ain't mad at you, Trey. I want to
what's
grow up
up.
to be just like you.
And let's take these
Cheers
shots.
to the shot.
Cheers to Trey's anniversary. What year is
Exactly.
this? Number
And
14?
and cheers,
Cheers to 14
DJ
beautiful
B Original.
years.
14. Cheers to 14.
Yeah.
God damn.
What is this? Tequila?
Nigga, that's
Nah,
that
that's
shit
Bacardi.
packed, nigga.
That's
That shit is gas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that tastes pretty good, actually.
Really?
Damn, how about that?
ain't
And I
mad.
barely,
Bacardi.
when I say I barely drink, I'm talking 3-4 times a year.
Yeah, you
Oh,
a
yeah.
no intoxicant period.
That's
You
what I'm
don't do
saying.
no weed,
You
no
don't smoke
nothing.
nothing.
He stands in the weed.
Yeah, I
When he
stand
comes
in-
to my room, he
He
stands
like,
in
oh,
the
his
weed.
room.
Yeah, I'm just gonna smell it. Like
Yeah,
I'm,
you
I'm
come in
getting
my
high
room.
enough just
Oh, yeah.
smelling this shit.
Oh yeah.
So from St. Louis.
Yes, yes, sir.
I'm from Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. See, that's what's up.
Are you Missouri? Wait, St. Louis,
Yeah,
Missouri?
yeah,
And
Missouri.
Kansas City,
Missouri,
Missouri, not
yeah.
Kansas
Right.
City, Kansas.
No, nigga,
Okay.
no, I'm not
So
Kansas.
y'all the same state.
Same
Y'all the
state.
show me state.
The show me state. That's
Hey,
right.
hey.
you see how they both said it, the show me
Hey,
state.
God,
Like,
that's right.
what
Hey,
does that
right.
mean? Show me what? Like,
At
Nigga,
Free
we don't-
Dick,
we
it
don't
meant a
talk
good
about it,
time.
we be about it.
At
what
Free
I'm
Dick,
saying.
it meant a good time. That's what it meant.
That's what I'm saying.
It meant
Show
a
me,
great
show me.
time.
Word.
like nigga, don't talk about that shit. Show me
show
what
me.
you
Show
talking
me
about.
state.
I don't want to hear what you say, nigga. Show it.
Most
Show and
definitely.
prove.
Most definitely.
Benny, I was reading your bio, man, and
Yeah.
I've known you for about 2-3 years now,
Yeah.
probably a little bit more than that. And I didn't know you was over there with the St. Lunatics when you started,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I had no idea because your sound is nothing
It's
like
not-
that.
It's nothing like that. It's-
Nothing like that.
It's never been what they do.
How'd you fit in over there with that?
We just get along. Period. I mean, that's just it. Like, I've never produced a record for them.
Uh-huh.
They never rapped on none of my beats. None. We just me and the producer J.E. We like real tight.
Right.
Yeah.
And we just got a love for music.
Did
know
you
what
go
I'm saying?
bowling with them a lot?
Not really, but we met at the bowling alley at Saints Bowling Alley.
That's
That's where they got
crazy.
started. Yeah.
Word.
The original recording studio was in the back of Saints Bowling Alley, which is this bowling alley. I mean, it's a roller rink in St. Louis, what everybody would just go to.
Right.
Everybody. And in the back, they had a recording studio. And the owner of that recording studio was friends with my girlfriend, and that's how we all linked up.
Wow.
That's crazy. And I didn't even know that. I just said bowl because I know Nelly likes to bowl.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
St. Louis, bowling in St. Louis is like a legit thing. Like everybody can bowl.
yeah, I mean he said he
I'm from
he
Kansas
bowled.
City.
I
I'm
mean,
bowling my
Yeah.
butt.
This
I
Negro
all
got
these-
listen,
I got all
listen.
these niggas bowling.
Listen, Trey bowled so hard his car got stolen, or we thought. And he was
What?
more worried about the bowling balls in
Than
the
his
car
car.
than his car.
Wait, the
That
thing
ass-
is, he-
but the
it
bowling
wasn't
ball
my
was his
car.
grandpa.
Yeah.
It was
See,
grandpop's
The
ball. though.
Yeah.
car, it was the craziest story because the car was actually a loaner car from CarMax because my car was in the shop getting repaired.
Oh, so you was
This
like,
is a
Now,
very
here's
funny
a
story.
fun-
This is
No,
a
listen-
very
listen-
funny
listen
story.
to this
So I
shit.
parked the car in front of the shop. I go in the shop. I'm literally in there like 30 minutes. I come out, the car is gone. I'm looking around like, I know I parked the car here. It's gone. Nobody knows where the fucking car is. I file a police report. Days later, comes back. The car had been repossessed by a company. Apparently, whoever traded the car in owed money on the car. And they didn't do the proper paperwork. Just so happened this nigga used to live like two blocks down the street from the shop. Damn. So they around looking for the car. They're like, oh shit, there's the fucking car. And told the motherfucker, wait. I was like,
and it's a motherfucking something
a
a loaner car that they gave him.
Right.
That got repo, so he thought that shit is funny.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
That's a car, man. That's a car.
That nigga was like, nah, nigga, somebody stole my motherfucking car, nigga. He had my bowling balls in there.
That was the thing. He was hot the whole day. He
because-
wasn't hot about the car. He was hot about the bowling ball.
Brother.
The whole day.
It had his grandfather's
There
bowling balls in it.
There was bowling balls given to me from my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? So they was very
Sentimental
special to me.
value.
Yeah, sentimental
It's
to me,
serious,
you know
though.
what I'm
If you
saying? But I
meet
got
some-
him back.
Yeah?
Yes, I did.
Dog, people from St. Louis, like, we bowl for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I ain't know that.
I mean, yeah, man.
Y'all take it that serious,
We
huh?
take, dog, I've been bowling since I was like 5 years old,
Yeah,
5, 6 years
yeah.
old.
So you're actually you're good because these dudes got a league that they got like teams
we
and
bowl.
shit.
Yeah.
They bowl hard. They all got I don't know.
Every Wednesday, we
I
out
didn't
there.
know nobody grown my whole life till I got around that had like a bowling ball
Yeah, dog.
bag and shit.
I
like
got-
you know what I'm
I
saying?
got-
Don't go to the lane and
got
just grab what's in there.
bags.
He got
Yeah.
bags with balls with shiny
Yeah,
shit and
dog.
shit and all. I don't know nobody like that, but him.
Yeah,
But back to what you said you was bowling since you was 5. Nigga, you was doing a lot since you was 5.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you started doing music. Basically,
Early.
like I was reading your thing. It said you from your sister.
Yeah.
You heard Rapper's Delight,
Yeah.
and that kind of inspired you to want to do something. You want to talk
Yeah.
about that
Yeah, man. I've been
as much as you can remember.
Yeah, one
He don't do no intoxicants. He remembers everything.
To when you was 5.
He remembers everything.
So one of the things I don't mind telling people is my age. I'm 44. So I've been listening to rap music since like 1979. So I've been listening to rap music for a long.
Basically, it's
fucking time.
inception. 4
Yeah.
years off its inception.
Yeah,
Right.
And what happens is like St. Louis is a hodgepodge, just a mix of people from all around the country. So we like Atlanta, we just have a lot of people like from New York that moved there and everything. So when I was a little kid, we used to get those tapes, those Park Jam tapes.
Right.
And yeah, man, like 79, I was listening to all Cold Crush Brothers.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Cool Mo D.
Yeah, like everything. So that's how I really, really, really got into hip hop because my sister, I was like the mistake baby. I was like the last one. So my sister
That was a mistake, baby.
That's a real hard thing to say about yourself, there,
I
brother.
call them babies. 'cause
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And that was me. So at that time, unlike now, like it wasn't no Disney radio and shit. You listen to what everybody else listened to.
Right,
And my sisters, they was old. They was in their teens. So I was listening to what they was listening to, and at the time, it was rap music.
Right.
So that's the reason. That's how I got so invested in hip hop.
Right.
Yeah, man. So I remember like all the old school shit. As a matter of fact, I was just telling my man we was talking about that Cassidy and Goods battle,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
he thinks Goods won, and I'm like, yo, Cassidy won that battle. He's like, no, and I'm like, listen, Goods pulled a DMX, a lot of yelling, but some ho hum bars.
Right.
Right.
Them shits is whack. It's all thing. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, let me tell you.
Let's
about,
go bar by bar.
Yeah, I was like, let me tell you about the Cold Crush Brothers and Furious 5 battle. So in this battle in 1981, the people that was in the venue, they all thought the Furious 5 won because they had better showmanship.
Right.
But when the tapes start circulating around New York City and you can hear it without actually seeing it, everyone said Cold Crush run because the bars were better.
The bars are better.
And that's what I'm saying. That is the difference between what happened with Goods and Cassidy that night. Goods had the better presentation. A lot of
Performance.
theatrics.
Yeah.
But if you just close your eyes and listen to what was being said, Cassidy crushed, like killed him.
Yeah.
Killed him. And that's a lot of like, some of the discussions I have with some of the younger kids these days.
I like that dude Conceited. He be
he's
conceited.
dope.
He
Yeah.
comes.
Arsenal.
he
Loaded
comes-
Lux.
Yeah. I mean, all of them are dope. I'm not saying Goods is trash. I'm
No.
just saying it's more theatrics than actually technical.
Yeah, and a lot of people like the theatrics, I mean, added into the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, to all that battling and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
So-
it's part of it.
Did y'all see? They had a movie with this white dude. Damn, I just watched it.
That shit was dope. Eminem did that.
I did
Body.
music
You
for that
watch it?
movie.
No, I haven't
That
seen
movie,
it. I know you're talking
that
about.
movie was
Albie
dope.
Albie
It was
had
dope.
us doing
Yeah?
music for
That movie was
Okay.
dope. That movie was dope. It was
With
about
Jackie
battle
Long?
rapping. Yeah,
So
exactly.
I got a question because
He went in on that. Yeah, he went in on that motherfucker.
did Jackie pull off a good performance rapping?
I think he did. I think he did a good job. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Did
yeah.
Jackie pull off a good performance on the
You
on
act
the
like you
run?
lost in space,
I gotta
nover
see
Like
that.
I told you, nigga, I'm tired. Nigga.
this
I'm
motherfucker.
That nigga did
He over here
pause for
looking
a
like-
second. He was like,
Like, nigga, what you think, motherfucker?
You had to snap your finger to
I
that
was thinking
nigga.
about the movie. Nigga.
You're like, I don't even remember Jackie Long in that
Like, he
shit.
was the main black dude, nigga, the one who he went in on, not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
about having, you
Nah,
know,
he
the
actually
video
did a pretty
games.
good job. He did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I like the way he did that. But so J.E. taught you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, at the time I was DJing, like just forever. Like I mean, like this is my 31st year of DJing, so I've been DJing forever. That's how I met J.E. But at the time, J.E. was DJing and he was also studio engineering in that studio in St. Louis where the Lunatics used to record.
Right.
So I was in a different rap group at the time, and J.E. was the engineer, and that's how I met DJ J. Well, he was DJ J.E. at the time. Now he's just J.E.
Right.
But yeah, man, I learned a lot from him. I mean, he's younger than me. And, you know, he's one of those kids, man. He just is like musically like he dropped out of high school at 16 and just pursued music. And he was able to learn everything about a studio like super quick, where he could just run it all by himself. And through him is where I learned a lot of my technique.
What type of style would you say that you have?
I think it's boom bap.
Yeah.
But it's a little musical also. But I mean, I'm like sample, chop, drums,
Which
kicks
is what
and
I
air.
was gonna ask.
Yeah.
How do you go from J.E., which is that sound was kind of keyboard, you know,
Yeah.
I want to say kiddie type sound driven, and you go from that camp
Yeah.
and end up with Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep.
Well, that's the thing. J.E. is actually a super hip hop hit. Those are the kind of beats that he actually does.
Really?
The stuff that's on the record, that's how he makes his money, is by making those kind of records.
Right.
Well, like the Nelly stuff. But the beats that he actually does is all boom bap stuff. It's all breaks. It's all, and like one of the members of the Lunatics, Ali, the big taller one.
Yeah.
He like a hip hop. I mean, that's actually the type. They listen to more music like that than anything else.
Word.
But the style of music they perform is what you hear.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, bro, man, Ali like a walking encyclopedia of hip hop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, he listens. I mean, he's super well versed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that kind of made you after doing what you was doing with J.E., that kind of made you want to move to New York and start doing.
Nah, you know, I just want to get out of St. Louis for real.
Okay.
I mean, that's all it was. I just wanted to get out of St. Louis, yep. So I moved to New York, and I was DJing up there a lot. You know, just pursuing like my hip hop passion, really.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
one of the things about
That was like the place to be back then.
about
yeah,
to
yeah,
say.
yeah.
You know
We're
what I'm
talking
saying?
like late '90s, like that was
Right.
pretty much it. And St. Louis is sort of it's like it's not a lot going on there musically.
Yeah.
And at the time, I just wanted to pursue that passion of just DJing, and it was hard to do in St. Louis because it's just very limited. There's only at the time, you know, we talking like pre-internet, pre-Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't really get yourself out there as much.
Right.
So,
but in New
so
York, you going to the big pond with all the big shark DJs.
Yeah, but I was dope though.
That's what I was
So that's
about
the
to
thing.
say.
Yeah.
How was it? Because
Yeah.
that seemed like that's just as hard from a different
Yeah.
perspective to come up in. How was that?
Well, the one thing about St. Louis is because there's not a lot to do there. You practicing all the time.
Right.
So I just got super good.
Right.
Like all the best DJs I know, and I mean around the world, the best DJs I know, they're all from St. Louis. Every last one of them.
Hey, I'm from Philly, and we
No, Philly is dope too.
I was about
But-
to say you making an offensive
No,
statement
but
right
ask
there, dog.
if you ever see Cash Money, ask him about St. Louis DJ.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, but Philly has the same sort of thing. It's like in the shadow of New York. It's more
yeah.
stuff to do there, but it's not a ton of shit to do there.
Yeah.
And you end up practicing a lot. Like and you get really good. Like when I went to New York, I was killing those dudes. Like it wasn't even close.
That's
It wasn't
like,
even close.
Magic Mike and Scratch, DJ Scratch.
Yeah.
Magic Mike is from Florida.
Yeah.
And he's who taught him Scratch to be how he is. It
Yeah.
took- same thing. Florida, nothing to do. All
Yeah.
practice. Same shit
And
for
you
us.
just practicing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ended up linking up with Sons of Man
Yeah.
out there. Sons of Man, they was just like the side group from the Woo and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And that I think that was pretty dope, especially for the album that you had on there. What was it called? Chance.
Yeah, I mean, actually, they got a new album coming out August 2nd. I did 5 songs on that one.
Ain't even come get your boy. See how you be?
I was right down the hall. They was all right up. They was right up.
Get your boy. You
told you
done
so,
heard
man.
some of the shit I've been chopping up down there.
I
too.
told you the Prodigal was over yesterday.
Word?
I told you to cut. You know what I'm saying? Just come up there.
He
He'll never
I'll
come.
be there with Doug, man. We be in there. Usually he got something going on in his room. I got something going on in my
He
room.
never. He never.
He had to
stopped
bring
by.
his son to get a haircut. That's,
Oh, yeah?
that's what happened.
Well, that's one of the many things I did yesterday.
Yeah, but son's a man, like that's dope. Like me and Prodigal Son, we pretty much like brothers, man. So you know, that was an easy. I kind of just met him by like happenstance, and you
I
know,
always wanted to know what happened to Shaheem. Like I liked him
He in
as
jail.
he did.
Wait,
he
what?
he locked up.
yeah,
How long he
Yeah.
locked up for?
I asked Prodigal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's locked up.
yeah.
I liked him when back in the day. I'm 41. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So like I listened to all the same type of stuff you did growing up. And I'm
Yeah.
from Jersey, so you know what I mean we
Yeah.
had all that shit. Like we had all the mixtapes. You know what I mean we knew about 50 before he even came
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Type shit.
Yeah.
Nicki, all that.
Yeah.
But what are you doing now?
So now I'm still producing, DJing. I'm doing a lot of real estate investment.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You want to get into that?
That's what I brought him
Yeah.
here for.
I mean that's what I've been doing that
Understand.
for.
Can I host a podcast? Can I do it how I know how to do
Well, I
it?
did
Hey,
tell
man,
Cuz-
we all
I
talking.
did tell because she was the actual lead interviewer this time.
That-
And he's
took
not because he's not saying shit. He act like he don't know what the fuck he's doing right now.
I mean,
so
but we
like
got
I gotta
time. We
take the
haven't-
lead. I gotta
yeah,
take the
We
lead.
got time. We haven't got that far into it yet.
I know. I mean,
We
we
only
was
20
talking about.
minutes into the show.
Only
See
20.
what happens
Listen.
when the alcohol hits the table?
We
All of a
almost
sudden, this
had-
nigga is ornery as hell.
We almost had a motherfucking dead
Argument
silence.
free.
Yeah, almost.
We almost had a dead silence, so I had to bring it to the next level. So all right, but anyway, let's get into that.
All right. So real estate investment is something that I do. It's something that I've always done. In the midst of all this music stuff that I do, I also went to college, got a finance degree. So I just learned a lot about money.
Yeah.
Like all aspects of money, how to make it, lose it, how to retain it, you know, depreciating assets, appreciating assets, stuff to buy, stuff not to buy. So when it comes to like good investment vehicles, like Kush and I talk all the time, like real estate is it. You know, in my opinion, like there's other people who are good at like the stock market and all that kind of stuff. I don't really deal with that. I like for my investments to be in something that I have control over. I don't want a boardroom to be in control of what happens with my investment money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you invest more in St. Louis?
all in St. Louis.
Everything in St.
Yeah.
Louis? Like what type of stuff are you invested in?
Multifamilies, single family. So multifamily, 2 to 4 family. I'm starting to get into larger projects, like looking at like 8-unit buildings, 12-unit buildings, and then single families, just like, you know, buy a house and rent it out to someone.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of cheap. Kind of
It's
cheap
very
over there.
cheap.
Yeah, so
It's
good
very
to do
cheap.
it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, you could definitely invest here, and I do know some investors that invest here, but the heavy investors, the people that are really involved, that understand like how to grow wealth, which is what I always talk about. They all invest out of state.
Yeah, I mean,
go to where the property's
like
cheapest.
Utah, Arizona, Nevada, Texas. You know what I
Texas,
mean? Georgia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of cheap places
Michigan.
for you to actually invest in places like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Make a nice little flip.
Did
Yeah,
you say Van Nuys?
No, I said
I mean Van Nuys got some good investment. It depends on what you do. Right, like right now, South Bay,
On the
like,
other side of Van Owen.
on the other side of Van Nuys, but you got to look at you got to look at like without getting like crazy like A, B, C, D neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you cash flow in C neighborhoods, which is like a C neighborhood is like a working class neighborhood. It may be a little higher on the crime spectrum than A and B neighborhoods, but that's where you get your monthly cash flow. D neighborhoods you just kind of want to stay out of because that's where they're shooting and killing people.
Right.
Are you kind of investing in places where you think it's going to be like gentrified?
In St. Louis, we don't really have that issue, but if I were, we do have gentrification issue, but it's not like it is out here, like where
Yeah.
people are literally buying up like that Crenshaw district,
Right.
and moving people out and moving in.
Right.
What I think should happen personally when it comes to gentrification, like how Jay-Z said, we could gentrify our own neighborhood. Like people rent houses and pay rent and all that stuff, and they think that they can't buy the place that they live in.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally buy the place that you live in. Even if you live in an apartment building, you could buy that. Like it's not that difficult, but people think that it is. So
yeah.
and when I talk about buying, like there's always this issue of like, is rent throwing away money, or should I buy a house? So I'm actually more in favor of renting. And the reason why, renting your primary residence. And the reason why is because when you buy a house, if you look at the financial appreciation versus what you pay, including principal, interest, your insurance, the maintenance, and all this stuff, you could actually end up not making any money even after 30 years. Like, I just went over this whole calculation with one of my friends. He wanted to buy a house for $300 to live in, right? He was planning on staying there for 30 years, so we went through the whole calculation. So not only would he have bought the house for $300,000, the interest that he would have paid on it was going to be like $420,000.
On top of the 3?
Yeah, because interest is, that's what I'm saying. Like, this conversation right now is about owning a home that you actually live in.
Right.
So you got all that interest, you got all the taxes. Like, the taxes over that 30 years would have been like another $70,000 that he would have paid. The insurance that he would have paid was going to be like another $80,000. Like, over the course of the whole entire loan. So the $300,000 house that he bought would have had to appreciate to about $900,000 in 30 years for him to make any money.
Where is it?
It's in Kansas City.
Okay,
so now
that ain't never gonna happen.
that's why I said that. That's why I asked that question.
Now, it potentially could, but you just don't know. So that's what I'm saying. When you look at like rich people, like very wealthy people, and you wonder why they lease places and rent houses and stuff like that, it's mostly because of that.
Yeah, because they got other businesses and other investments and other things where they making money off of that.
Yeah,
renting to other people, and then they just renting off of who
and
they. And the thing is, like, and the thing about it is, you're making all that money because if there's a problem in one of those houses or something like that, you got to come out your pocket and fix that. If it's a problem in something that you renting, you ain't got to fix it. So you could kind of stack that up for a rainy day.
Yeah, that's the other part about it. Like, if you rent your primary residence, and believe me, I'm not saying don't buy a house.
Yeah.
Because there is some value of there is an emotional value to, like, yo, this is my house. This is where I raise my kids. My school is right here. This is where we're gonna be at for 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, there is some actual value in that. So I'm not saying don't buy a house.
Right.
I'm just saying you just got to understand the whole financial picture of what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, you got to know the
be
back knowledge of it.
Yeah, I mean, buy and appreciating areas that are going to appreciate.
That's
Like, that's first and foremost.
But if you're able to be aware that the area is gonna appreciate, more than likely that's a common knowledge thing. So you're probably gonna be paying. So my thing is, how do you find them areas for cheap?
Okay, so the first thing I would do is I would look for areas that are close to business centers. So like that Crenshaw district I was telling you, like right around USC.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of gentrified to a point. Like, the prices there are getting so expensive.
It's about to be off.
It's hard to buy there, but
and over by the new stadium.
Yeah,
That's coming off of the new stadium.
Inglewood is going crazy right now. I would say the first thing I look for are neighborhoods that are close to where people want to work. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so
he's good. It's your headphone that dropped that.
Yeah, so if you find
everything. Go ahead.
if you find neighborhoods that are close to where people work, like downtown LA, even though those neighborhoods may be bad now, they will eventually gentrify, because what's happening is, and Kush and I, we talked about this a bunch of times. What's happening is the millennials that are coming up now, that are 20, let's just say 28 to 35 or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't do that thing. They don't do like that white flight thing that their parents do. And the reason why is because these young kids, who are not kids but young adults who are able to buy now, they grew up their entire life with black and brown people. So they're not afraid to live in those neighborhoods.
They're part of hip hop culture.
Exactly. They listen to hip hop.
They feel they are.
Exactly. They understand, like, what it's like. Some of their best friends are black and brown people. So it's nothing for them to live in those neighborhoods. So they are actually moving out of the suburbs and moving back into the city. They've already had the suburb life. They grew up that way.
Yeah.
So they're not trying to live that way again, especially when it's going to take them an hour and a half to drive to wherever they work. So like here, like Boyle Heights, Echo Park, East LA, East of Downtown, Silver Lake, Crenshaw District, Leimert Park, other parts of South LA. Long Beach is starting to go crazy right now.
Long Beach low-key been going crazy for about 4 years.
Yeah, it's really, really coming up. And then far out areas, like I live in Lake Balboa, so Van Nuys is starting to heat up. because it's an affordable place. It's an affordable place to live.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
is.
close. It's close to the 4. It's between like the 405 and the 101.
Yep.
And they're doing that thing over off of North Hollywood.
NoHo West.
The NoHo West over off of Victory, which that whole area is going to get changed because it's going to have to look like Galleria looks over there out in Glendale.
Yeah, they're building new apartments and condos and stuff over there. That's gonna be like
North Hollywood looks crazy.
connected to that.
North Hollywood is growing.
Yeah, quickly. And then I'm hearing, was that you? That was you telling me about not Palmdale, but Lancaster. And they're about to move, and they're going to build an international airport out there and all of that, and make that a bit like
pretty soon. North Hollywood is gonna be like Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's moving there, and they building it up.
The cost
like that.
is gonna be expensive as hell.
It's already getting expensive.
It's already expensive.
And North Hollywood is like the perfect example of being close to everything.
Yeah,
and the train lines right there too. So if you don't want to hop in your car and you work downtown, you hop on that train. You downtown 20 minutes.
Yep.
So those I think like real estate wise, like those are things that I would probably look for. I think as far as buying a place to live, I think house hacking is like it's the best way.
What is house hacking?
House hacking is when you buy a duplex basically and you live in one side and rent the other.
Right.
That's what house hacking is. Okay. I tell people, especially out here because real estate is so expensive, man, that's the best. Dude, that's the best way to get in. You get an FHA
kind of
loan.
living for free, right?
Basically, almost close to it. Yeah, and it's because if you live in a house, you can get an FHA loan for like 3 to 5% down. So let's just say you find a duplex in North Hollywood for $550 that needs some work, right? You come up with $15,000, you can get in there. You just have to live there. So that's it. You come up with $15,000, you get in there, you get the other side rented, you fix it up and you let it. Well, you fix it up first. Then you rent it, you let it appreciate for a couple years, you cash out, refi, pull the money out, because here you're going to get much more money. You can maybe pull 40, 50 grand out. You can go to St. Louis and buy 5 houses. And off those 5 houses, you can cash flow like $2,000 a month. So not only will you get that house, the duplex where you're living in, but you got an extra $2,000 in passive income. You're not even working for it. That just goes into your bank account every month.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then after those 5 houses, after about 18 months, you do a portfolio loan. You cash out, refi on those 5, and then you go buy 5 more, and now you got 10. And now
just keep flipping.
And you just keep going. You just keep going over and over and over and over again. And if you do that, maybe 3 or 4 years, you could generate 30, 40 grand a month.
And now that they have, they got Airbnb going on.
You can kill Airbnb.
You know what I mean? You making a killing off of Airbnb, depending on where you have it.
Yeah, depending on where it's at. Yeah, depending on the city and the location of it. Yeah.
It's. I mean, the thing with real estate is. Well, it could be risky if you don't know what you're doing. When I got started, my first real estate deal, I had to foreclose on. I could have quit after that because I thought it was over. I was like, damn, I'm like really fucked up out here. Like this is, you know what I'm saying? Like
I made a bad move.
Yeah, I made a bad move. But the more and more that I would talk to real estate investors, I realized that everybody makes bad moves.
You got to make a bad move to learn from it. So you don't make it again.
Yeah, you learn. But that's kind of, I don't know. That's sort of like the. How can I explain? That's sort of the way to build wealth. Like it's always this conversation between getting rich and building wealth, right? So anybody could get rich and anybody could build wealth. The difference is what happens when something happens to you. You can have a great job and get rich, right? They high income earners, they get rich all the time. But
as soon as you die, that stops.
If you get fired, then you're not gonna be rich anymore. Right. When you build wealth, nobody could take that away from you. You can always dip into your house and get some money out of there. Yeah. It's always going to appreciate. Like, that's how you build wealth.
Investing in stuff.
Investing in appreciating assets, not investing in depreciating assets.
Right. Got you.
Yeah, because depreciating assets, like one of my friends owns a trucking company, right? And he does well, and he buys trucks and stuff like that. But the thing of it is that he's investing in assets that are depreciating.
Those trucks.
So one day the truck ain't gonna be worth nothing.
Yeah, those trucks.
Yeah, but if you buy a house, it's gonna be appreciating. Even if the market takes a dip, sooner or later it
goes back up. Right.
Exactly.
And there's no telling what could happen with the area that you bought that house in. Because if that area goes up, that's even more on top of the profit that you're gonna make.
Yeah. But it's all about, like I said, those neighborhoods, man. A, B, C. Like you fix and flip in A and B neighborhoods, in my opinion. You cash flow in C neighborhoods. C neighborhoods are always going to pay you no matter what happens to the economy. That's like the medium rent. is right there in the
Because
city.
there's always somebody looking for some place to
when
stay
the
in them
economy
areas.
takes a shit and is all over, they're gonna be living in those C neighborhoods.
Now, when you get something like that, can you Section 8 it?
You can Section 8 it.
And you get paid by the state.
I had a Section 8 tenant. I had good and bad experience. I had one that was horrible, and I had one that was great. But I had regular tenants. One that was horrible, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some that were horrible. And some that I know people get nervous about Section 8.
Yeah, but the state still has to pay you. So
The government pay you.
Yeah. So regardless, whatever the situation is, that you're still getting paid.
The government pay. Man, one of my Section 8 tenants, I think her rent was.
He said that with a passion. He said the government pays.
The government. Every single
He
time.
said the government pays.
I think, man, my Section 8 tenant, she may be paid $7 or $8 a month. So I ain't even bother with collecting rent.
Right.
Wow.
And she was a single mother, going to school to be a nurse. Mm-hmm. She wasn't dealing no like she didn't have men running in and out. She was just a struggling person.
And what was the government paying for that?
I think $850.
Damn. And she only had to pay $8?
Something like that. So they might be paying.
Keep your $8. Go buy you some cigarettes or something.
Yeah. So they might have been paying like $841 or $842 or something like that. Yeah.
It's like, well, no, just.
I'm like, you know what? At the end of your lease, just give me $500.
Yeah. Section 8. But then I had one Section 8 tenant that was like, turned my house into a dope house. And like, you know what I'm saying? So you really have to screen. That's when I was trying to screen. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. So professional management is important. You know what I'm saying? Professional managers, they screen the people. They can get all their rental history. They know where they've been before, and they know the type. They running their background, or criminal background.
They call the other people up and be like, yo, how was this person or whatever.
Yeah.
So, just for wanting to know, if you're privately doing that, why is it that you can't find all the information or aren't privy to the same amount of information that property management company?
You can. Like, there's plenty of people who manage their own property. I'm just not good at it. I don't really know what to look for.
Right.
Because there may be anomalies on someone's on their background that I don't notice. Like there may be something like where they have a gap of time, like where they say they rented from 2008 to 2012. They want to rent from you in 2019, but what happened between 2013 and now, like when they get to you?
Right.
Like those are things that, so you want to know what happened in that time period. So then you run a background. They may have been in jail during that time. Like you have no idea. So you have to run their background and you start tying everything together to paint a picture of how this person is.
Yeah.
Exactly. And those people are good at that. Like they're like professional managers. That's what they do. Like for you, when you make music, if you really want someone to play a piano part, you're going to bring in a real piano player. Even though you could probably get through it, but you're going to bring in somebody who could really get it done. Exactly. So
Shout out to Jones.
What made you want to start getting into real estate?
Just a quest to be free. That's it. I don't have like, I have no like my. I don't want to be the richest person ever. I want to be the freest person ever.
Gotcha.
And that for me, that's important. Like there is this area between being free and being rich. I don't want to, for one, I don't want to create a job for myself, so passive income is how I choose to make money. That's number one. Number two, there's a place in everybody's world between freedom and rich. Rich is not always great. It depends on how you perceive it.
Right.
But there is a part, and I don't know what that number is for you, or it's a number for everyone, where you feel financially free, where you could do anything you want to within reason. Somebody call you up and say, yo, me and my wife, we're going to Spain for a week. Y'all want to go? You can get on the plane and go.
Like, yeah, let's go.
And you can fly first class.
Right.
You won't be able to take a private jet, but you can do that and go there and have fun.
And still be good while you get there.
Good.
Yeah.
And then there's that point where you could be super rich and you got a ton of money, but you're not enjoying life because you have a lifestyle to maintain.
Right.
You paying for people. You got 10 houses you're not living in. You're only living in one at a time.
A lot more stress.
Exactly. So for some people, like I do know some real estate investors that are super rich and they love it. And I know some that are, they bring in like 10 grand a month and they're fine because guess what? They can take their kids to baseball practice every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they have a great life with their wife. They don't eat out a lot, but they cook everything at home. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and they just have an amazing, amazing life. Yeah. So you can cross that threshold. Like you can get to free, and then you could cross into rich, especially with investment. If you want to go there, like one of my friends, he owns a little over 1,000 units, a little over 1,000 pieces of property. He pulls in about $400,000 a month, but he is crazy. Like every day, it is something nuts going on with him, and he had that point in his life where he was making the right amount of money to be free, but he got greedy and he wanted more, and guess what? He got more. Yeah. And now he's not even happy. It's like he got money coming out his ears, for real. He could literally do anything he wants to, but he just can't enjoy it.
But he ain't going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Too much responsibility.
Even if you go on vacation, somebody's calling.
Right.
Yep, somebody's calling. It's always an email. It's always somebody's doing
sit back and relax and enjoy none of that shit.
You know, he always putting a new water heater into something or a new roof on something. It's always something.
You ain't talk to him then, because you need to tell him, hey, dog, you need to get somebody else to do that for you.
No, he's selling off. You know what? He's selling off his property now.
Okay.
Because he's made just a ton of money, but it's it's a lot of property to get rid of. Yeah. Yeah, it's a ton of property to get rid of.
Fire sale.
That's a lot of red. He said,
fire sale.
Like, nigga, I don't even know how many fucking houses I got over here. Like, shit, nigga, I got about 20 and 30 years.
Did he go in on, are these commercial properties? Or?
Some commercial, some resident. He started with single family, which is where a lot of people start. Single family.
Shit, is he looking to invest into somebody? Because I got an idea.
He's actually my lender. That's how I met him.
Shit,
so I get money from him. Yeah.
Yeah, we might have a talk.
Yeah, for my deals, like I call him up. I'm like, and I can just present him the deal. Like, yo, I'm looking at buying this property. This is the financial breakdown. This is how much I'm gonna make. Blah blah blah. And he'll tell me like, yeah, sure, I'll finance that.
Yeah, shit. I mean, I got a great idea. We might have to link up.
Yeah,
that guy has this guy's got a network of lenders. He could put you onto a network of, and you could ask a few people, hey, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the midst of finishing up this business plan. So when I'm done with this business plan, I'm ready to present it. Then that's when when I'll come to you like that.
Yeah, private money, man. People go to banks. This is another thing about finance that I learned. Actually, Jay-Z kind of hit on a little bit, but this is one of the things that I learned. I don't know, maybe a decade or so ago. It's about private lending. It's about not using banks. The problem with that is that you got to be able to find rich people.
Yeah.
So that's always the hardest part when you're not from
or no Benny.
Well, but that's always the hardest part when you don't grow up around rich folks, or you don't. I didn't grow up around anybody. I only at the time I didn't know anyone that had money, but there's a ton of people that have more money than time.
Yeah.
They just want to make money on their money.
I think living out here, it's a lot more easier to find people like that than it is where I'm from in like Jersey or where you're from in St. Louis and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot more access to do that, and that's why we gotta try to do stuff like that and then drop the knowledge to the people back home. You know what I mean? To try to let them know what they can be doing and shit like that.
Yeah, that's definitely that's part of my goal in actually doing all this investment is try to bring people up. Yeah. Because I don't it's like, why should I hoard all this information? So, the people that I hire, my friends, neighborhood, people that I grew up with, convicts and shit like that, I'm like, listen, I'm going to give you all this game and all this knowledge, and I want you to go out and do it for yourself. Yeah. I don't want you working for me forever.
Right. So you go home and you give like seminars and stuff like that?
Not seminars, but I just talk to people. Okay. I just talk to my friends and family. And some of the guys take advantage. And some of them don't.
Have you ever thought about going to like probably one of those like youth things or something like that, and kind of talking to them about what they should be doing and how they should be handling their money and and certain things like that when they grow up?
I spent a little bit of time doing that, and I still do that now. But one of the things that I'm really trying to do is just combat just rotten thinking that we grew up with from the time we was kidding, all the brainwashing and conditioning that we have. That has been implanted in us from the time that we're small. Stuff like buy a house. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just simple stuff like that. Go to college.
If you instill it into the brain when they're young, then they're going that's what they're gonna want to do when they get older.
One of the things that we don't do as black folks is just talk about money in our house. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We should
the power of the power of the money. Yeah.
I mean, we should talk about money. It's certainly a two-pronged sort of save and invest. Sometimes we may get to the save part, but we never really get to the invest part. And a lot of that is because you don't get taught that in school. For instance, the way that our society is set up here in the United States is you go to school, you start in kindergarten, and they program your ass to go to college. And then when you get to college, you take all this debt, and you graduate through college, right? You graduate with $50,000 worth of debt, but you get a job that pays you $40,000, of which they take a third of tax.
Yeah, like 70% of people that graduate from college, they don't do what they went there for.
They don't do what they went there for, and they're 22, and they saddle with 50 grand worth of debt.
Yeah,
and they're not even making they're not even working a job that pays that much.
Right? Yeah, so it's like your credit score is low because you owe all this debt.
You owe all the debt. You can't move out of your parents' house. You can't make investments even if you wanted to. So what I always tell people about college is figure out a way. If you want to go, I'm not even a big fan of going to college, to be honest, because it's just more mind fucking. And college doesn't teach you how to make money. Right. They teach you how to go sit in traffic and get a job and work at that job until you die. That's what college teaches you. It does not teach anyone how to make money. Right. It teaches you to create a bunch of debt so you can get a great job. So you can create more debt when you buy the car that you want.
Great job. I think you can get. It's possibly if you don't go to college for doctor or lawyer or accountant, everything after that is a crapshoot.
The main thing I got from college was just learning how to network.
Learning how to network.
And learning how to focus and study.
With people. Because, obviously, I grew up around black people. I know how to deal with black people all day, but it allowed me the experience and the opportunity to network with those who are not like me.
It taught you how to party, too, huh?
He met white girls.
Yeah, but I kind of tend to tell people, like, it's probably more better to go to like a VOTech.
Go to tech school, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, cause you actually learning something from what you really want to fucking do.
Pays you immediately when you get out.
Dude, plumbers, I think average salary of plumbers like 80 grand.
Yeah, like some people might come out of college, wanting to be something else, and then the trash man is making more money than them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and not only can the trash man make more, or at least comparable to what you make, they don't have a bunch of school debt either.
Exactly.
Like that is the thing that keeps us messed up. And that is like, for instance, like mortgage. Do you guys know what mortgage means?
No.
In French?
What?
It means death pledge.
Shut the fuck up, dog.
I'm about to get a death pledge.
Exactly.
So when you signing your death pledge,
because they know that they got you for 30 years, and you can't, and you think you own a house. Stop paying the mortgage on it and see who really owns the house. Exactly. Like if people really understood, if we learned about money at a very early age, we wouldn't make hardly any of the mistakes that we make. All the mistakes that we make with respect to money is reversible. People fall into bankruptcy and they think their life is over forever. Your life is not over forever. People, but the problem is that
jumping out the window and shit, killing yourself.
But the problem is that because people don't understand money, we live in a society where like a $400 emergency could really fuck you up, like really, really bad. Yeah. But the thing of it is, when it comes to money and figuring out like how to properly manage the money the income that you get, it's always a process of saving and investing. Some people say you should say like it's not even a theory. I don't even know what to call it. It's a movement called FIRE, which is Financial Independence, Retire Early. These are people who save 60% of their income. So they get together and they trade clothes on Facebook and Craigslist. They don't buy anything. They buy one $1,500 car to the next. They buy one for $1,500. When it breaks down, they go buy another car for $1,500. And they do this and they live this way over and over until they get to financial freedom. It's a tough way to live, and it's different. They have like low fire, high fire, like medium fire. They have like all these different types of categories, but basically what it is financial independence, retire early. These people are starting to do this. They're literally retiring like 32, 33 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because the 60% that they're saving, when they get to debt free, then they start investing, and that's how they build financial freedom. And it's something that should be taught earlier, but it's not. We live in a society that's taught consumer, buy a bunch of shit all the time. and
you got extra money, spend it.
Yeah, bombarded with.
That's that. I got a little extra money.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buy this.
They say that in commercials.
Yeah.
Got a little extra money?
Yeah.
Go do this.
Sometimes with these, like I was with a rapper the other day at my studio, who I'm not gonna name, but he was showing me his chain. It's a nice chain.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Very, very nice chain. It's like about $100,000 chain. And I was like, damn, you could have bought 10 houses at least and still bought that chain.
Still got that chain.
Exactly.
Like, bought 2 of them chains.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like I try to tell people, it's not, to build wealth, it doesn't require a huge amount of money, but man, we blow gobs of money on depreciating stuff all the time. And if you could just sacrifice a little bit.
Not my Jordans.
You can have, well, not your Jordan. Not your Jordan. I mean, we all have something.
Yeah.
But, I got on Jordans now. You know what I'm saying? We all have something.
But I was gonna say, even today though, with the sneaker game, I mean, you can buy them at a price and then turn
And
around
resell
and
them.
Turn around and sell
flip
them.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
That's a dope hustle. I love that.
I do
Yeah.
too.
You could wear them twice and then sell them motherfuckers. And buy
Dead
new
stock,
ones.
yo. Dead stock. Yo.
Dog, I love that. I like buying cars is generally a bad investment. But I like that, it's a movement of guys who are out here buying cars and they're figuring out ways to make the value of the car go up.
How?
And they sell, well, for one, they don't drive it ever. So if you see somebody with a Ferrari and they driving it, they're killing the value.
But even once, age-old knowledge, once you drive any car off the lot, it's already depreciating.
So for one, you got to get cars that are kind of rare.
Uh-huh.
So for instance, you bought a Ferrari for $200,000, right?
Yeah.
Or you think you can't get a Ferrari for $200,000, right?
All right.
If you got $20,000, you can get one for $200,000.
Good credit.
Exactly. And you figure out a way to increase the value. So what you do is you figure out for your particular Ferrari, what will make it appreciate? Is it the tires? Is it the rims? Is it the engine? And you go out and pursue whatever it is to make the value of that car go up. And when it does, then you sell it.
So you're saying you invest in upgrading the engine, which will make that car appreciate because now it's a different Ferrari.
Hold on. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Why you so fidgety?
Nigga, because my feet keep getting tangled up in the
Like, this
car.
nigga removing the whole goddamn show. Nigga, like, this and all this extra shit. I'm like, nigga, like, stop fucking moving.
My feet keep getting tangled up in these goddamn cords, nigga.
Look, if you stop moving, they won't get tangled up.
So this is the part of the show that we actually run a timer from at the beginning of every show.
I've been
see
trying to
when
be really
Dice and Trey
respectful.
actually
I've been
fight.
trying to be really
And
respectful.
this has been 2 shows straight that we've had such good guests. You've been giving us such good information that they ain't had time to fight. And the last interview that we did, they ain't had time to fight it.
Oh, yeah?
Until now. And you the one who set it
right,
off both
right.
times. It's your fault.
I mean, because I'm looking at this nigga, I'm like, it's irking me out the corner of my eye. I'm like,
am I bothering you?
yes,
Yes.
Nigga,
nigga.
hold on. Do you know how many times your ass has sat here time and time again bothering me? Nigga, munching and chips falling everywhere and drunk and knocking shit over and spilling drinks, nigga. Are you serious?
But you said something, so nigga, I'm saying something. Stop
Nigga, shut
fucking
the
moving.
fuck
This
up.
nigga's fucking fishy. I feel
God
like the nigga on the 50 shit. You know what I mean? Terrence Howard. Nigga, tell this nigga to
I'm
stop fucking
tired,
moving.
nigga. I'm trying to move so I can stay awake, nigga. I'm tired, nigga. I keep trying. Nigga, hold on. I told you, nigga. I honestly, I don't know. I can't even recall the last time I've been this exhausted. Like, nigga, I really feel like I can go home and sleep for like the next 2 days.
That shit happened to me 2 Sundays ago. Actually, the last Sunday that we was in here for the podcast.
Yeah.
I went home that Sunday, and I was supposed to go to the studio that night. And I sat till about 5, and the client went in. I gave him the key. He went in, and I was like, I'm going to come up there about 8. I'm going to take a nap. I took a nap. I woke up. I went to bed at 6. I woke up the next morning at 6. That nigga had been blowing me. It was Doug.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he fell asleep in the studio. Like, nigga, what am I supposed to do with the key?
Oh, damn.
I had to tell him, I was like, nigga, if I
Well.
pass out like that, go home.
Yeah,
I
go
can't get
home.
the key
I
from
am
you,
very
dog.
happy to hear about y'all tire stories. Fuck that. What do you think about hip hop now?
You know,
Um,
we could jump this nigga after.
You
this
know
show.
what?
He ain't drunk enough yet,
I personally love hip hop right now.
Okay.
I think the last few years have been really good. It's a lot of stuff out there. It's a lot of trash, but
Yeah.
I'm about to say,
Wait,
what's
wait,
good?
What
Tell
you
me
think,
what's
what
good.
What you think about Kodak Black?
I don't even have no thoughts about Kodak Black, to be honest. I mean,
I have a very
Like, do you think he ignorant, especially for what he did, for what he said?
I think yes, I think he's ignorant, and I think Kodak Black is an example of the type of shit that we just don't need. And I'm not talking about in hip hop. I'm talking about for
In black
everything.
community.
Yeah, like that kind of ignorance is something that's detrimental to just all of our.
You want to know what
really.
somebody told me about Kodak Black? They told me that he's basically doing this for show. Like he's really
He's
smart.
smart.
Like
Yeah.
he's
He's
really
really
smart.
smart.
But he's just doing this shit.
And he's tapped in to what's crazy is because I know a very good friend of his that I know two good friends of his that every time he gets in trouble, they're on the phone with him trying to have that. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Talks. And both of them, one of them told me 2 years ago that nigga's unreachable. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Right. The other one says every time that he does something, he'll be like, man, he's doing that for the public.
He's trolling.
He trolling.
Yeah.
But there are songs that he had to pull up online because he'd be like, Kodak's smart. Like, he's a smart. And I'm like, yeah, right. And he's pulled up records that are on YouTube that you'll sit there and listen to him, and the boy could rap.
Yeah.
And he actually sometimes says stuff. So then I came to and I was going to ask David Banner about this. How do they not realize that once you reach 1 million people now, you have 1 million sons?
Yeah.
And he'll say in his records, do as I say, don't do what you see me do.
Yeah.
But your fans are watching you to imitate you. That's how they going, that's they're showing you they fandom is they going to imitate your ass. You can't tell them that. And even like from my standpoint as a parent, I think we was talking about this yesterday, Dice. You gotta actually do the things that you telling them to do because they're gonna watch you do all the fucked up shit and they're gonna follow and do all the fucked up shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the part with them young artists that they missing. There's the balance, I get it, the party side and the conscious side. They'll feed you the bullshit, without thinking of the responsibility of having to deal with the back end of that.
Our society is entertained by foolishness.
Oh yeah.
Like
So the more foolish shit that you do, the more they want to tune in and
World
watch
star.
you. You know what I'm saying? The more they want to see shit. And nowadays the popularity grows. With you know what I'm saying? So when you do dumb shit, your popularity grows.
True.
Your popularity grows. But at what cost? You look at people like your boy 6ix9ine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was saying to somebody the other day, I said, it's funny because a year ago, nigga, 6ix9ine was
The top of the world.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Anything, I didn't even know who the kid was at first. And all of a sudden, he's everywhere.
And he
now,
was
all of a
raping
sudden,
them for money
he
for
locked
shows.
up. He locked up. Nobody's talking about him. Like,
Or when they talk about him, they talk about him
About
like he
the
can't
case,
come
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
can't come back.
it's fucked up. I mean, so it's like, to me, it's like, it's kind of like selling your soul. You know what I'm saying? You selling your soul to get a piece of fame and fortune, and either you correct that shit and just take that fame and fortune and, like you say, invest and move on. But a lot of them, they can't stop. They just have to stay in that line.
It's like, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think it's hard for us as a people to just correct the stuff because we don't, we're not taught the right ways from the beginning. Like how you were saying, Kodak Black is smart.
Yeah.
Fuck, serial killers are smart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has some level of intelligence. It's all about how you what you do with it. You know, like
How people look at you.
How you choose to deal with your responsibility of being in certain positions if you're smart.
Like for instance, I thought I thought 6ix9ine was like really smart. I was watching his moves. I'm not like a huge fan of his music, but I was like literally thinking like, you know what? He's figuring out a way to make it work for himself, but he made the dumb decisions of getting involved with a street element that he isn't familiar with.
Right.
And he made a bunch of bad decisions. And now look at it. I mean, it's gonna be hard for him to just live regular life.
Yeah.
Now,
Whenever he
live
gets
regular life. It's
Exactly.
a lot.
Like he was smart by the way of going overseas and building himself up, and that's where he got a lot. Because we're living in the social media world, so he went over there and built his following up in social media and performing over there and stuff like that. And by the time he came back over here, it was easy for him to just drop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he already had the following, and anybody was going to pick him up. You know what I mean? They say you got like 500,000 followers. They're like, oh, yeah, he already have a following. We ain't got to do too much with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he got caught up in all the, you know what I mean, the gang stuff and stuff like that, trying to make it seem like he's hard, you know what I mean, when he really wasn't even that dude.
That's part of the problem right there. With a lot of boys running around out here with
Kush done killed everything. Podcast interrupt.
I'm
There
still
we
going.
go. We had a whole podcast interruption. God damn.
That's tight.
And see, hold on. Here's the thing.
Stop fucking moving, nigga.
And you yell at me.
Shut up.
He over here fidgeting too.
I do think in our era it was a lot of fuckery going on too. Like
we started the fuckery.
Yeah, but we just don't have. We didn't have Instagram and all that sort of stuff, so people couldn't always see.
It's like I said when Marvin Gaye was around, Marvin was doing drugs.
All kind of
they
stuff.
was abusing women, all types of shit. You ain't hear about that shit.
Yeah.
You know about what's going on. You ain't hear about the ills of that dude's life until he was dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you go back and reflect on that stuff. But the artistry was about the positive shit, and that's what you focused on. Nowadays, we focus on famous people, the ills in their life.
Yeah.
Like, I just seen, what's the dude, I hate even saying this dude's name, DaBaby. DaBaby
I
is
like
pop.
DaBaby.
I like the record too. I like the record too.
No, it's not
but
just
he's
the record.
popping because he beat a dude up in the mall.
Nah, listen,
that's why he popping.
No, that's not why he's popping. He's popping because the music is actually his music is good.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
nigga's
his
funny.
The song is tight. I fuck with the
music is
record.
good.
But I started listening to him actually before the big wave hit. You know what I'm saying? Probably maybe like
The wave hit because of the fight. Because he knocked that dude out in the mall.
No, it really didn't.
It actually was before that.
It was before that.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Word?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People was on him.
Listen,
Hardcore,
his wave really kicked off All-Star Weekend. He had a big concert All-Star Weekend out there during that time.
Yeah.
And that's when his wave like really took off. But I was listening to him before that, man. Like he's got really good music. He's funny. You know what I'm saying?
Funny as
He's
shit.
funny as shit. That's
He's
why
funny as shit.
The nigga's fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious.
And
for
no,
real.
so no,
I don't think I heard not one
fight.
song from that nigga.
You've heard it.
He got some joints,
I'm Young
That
CEO
nigga
Suge.
hard, bro.
Young
Yeah.
CEO
Yeah, he got some
Suge.
joints.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
nigga, listen to
He's
it.
hard.
Dice, you would like it.
I don't think I'm
Dice,
gonna
you would
listen
like
to
it.
He said, "No, I'm not fucking with
Probably
it."
not.
Why would you probably not?
I just probably won't.
Why?
He's just in a hating mood right now,
that's
dog.
what it is.
He's just in a hating mood right now, dog.
I
That's
know
an
the
honest
type of
answer.
music
Yeah,
you like.
that's an honest
I know
answer.
the
That's
type
an
of
honest
music you
response.
like, and you would like
I
it.
just don't think I'm gonna like him. I don't.
But you haven't heard it, so how can you say that?
Because he don't feel
He's
comfortable
right,
calling
the
a
nigga
grown
want-
man
the
baby.
nigga
No,
want-
let me
the
tell you
nigga wanna
something.
hate.
Well, let me tell you something. That is the right response. That is the right response. Because time is limited, right?
Right.
You want to spend your time doing shit that you don't want to do.
Right.
It's a whole bunch of artists that I don't.
You
And I'm
haven't
a
heard,
DJ.
You haven't heard some of the ignorant shit this nigga listens
That's not
to.
ignorant though. That's actually
Wait.
smart.
Or does.
that's-
Or does.
Well, listen, I can't speak for everything else, but I'm just saying this is like the actual right response. Because when you think about like young kids, like they not spending time listening to Styles P and all that shit.
Right.
And you know why they don't?
They don't care.
Well, for one, it doesn't. They don't really connect with it.
They don't care.
But beyond that, they got other things that they would rather do with their time.
This
Fortnite.
nigga's favorite group is Migos.
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
What the fuck are you talking
Nigga, you
about?
listen to more Migos than any nigga I know.
No, I like Meek.
Well, we know you
got
like
some
Meek.
joints.
We know you
I
like
mean, I
Meek.
like Migos,
He loves
but
me.
Nigga,
He
that-
loves
loves
me.
me.
He does
Yeah,
not
that
like
nigga,
me.
man.
He loves me.
Nah, nigga, it ain't
Meek
like
is
that.
look.
I
Meek is a
understand- I
distant
understand-
cousin
no, I understand.
related through his
I
cousin's
understand
cousin,
more of
cousin's cousin.
No, I understand
We don't
more
give
of
a fuck what you
I understand
understand.
more of his motherfucking.
We don't give a fuck what
more
you
what he rap
understand.
about than what somebody else do because I'm from around that way.
Oh my
so
God.
Yeah,
He did the same thing.
This nigga's a Migos
He a
fan.
Migos
nigga.
fan?
This nigga
I
Migos
do
fan.
like
This nigga
Migos.
front. Exactly.
I do like
Right,
Migos.
so don't say it front.
I'm cool with Migos. I mean, I just like with that. I'm not a huge fan of their music. I like when I see people's business right. I like when I see them doing the right moves. Like that's more of
Right.
what I like. Like for him, when I was talking about 6ix9ine, I'm not a fan of his music at all. But before all of the crazy shit, I thought that he was doing the right thing, and not doing the right thing as far as like legally and all that shit. But I'm saying
It
doing
looked
what
like
he
he
felt
was
like he needed to do. Exactly. And with Migos, man, they killing the son. Like you can't even deny what's going on with them.
Nah,
They will live on forever.
Right.
They're on commercials on TV.
Yes, they will
they've
live on
transcended
forever.
hip hop culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to tell the people what you got coming up for yourself?
Yes. I have the Sons of Man record is coming out.
You said August 2nd.
August 2nd. So I did 5 records on that. Me and Karis One, we just did 3 records, which one of he already shot the video for and put out.
KRS One coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
He got some.
Has
joints.
he been in the building?
Yeah.
You had,
No, he was over like a month straight. He was trying to finish up this project.
we gonna fight when this podcast.
Is his nose really big? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big
Yes.
as this goddamn microphone.
If
He
that nigga
smell
ever,
everything
if that
before
nigga
he
ever
hear or
snorted
see it.
coke, nigga, he'll take a whole goddamn ounce. in
Yo,
one.
he is a super dope.
Man, hell yeah, man.
Like,
Like-
he is incredible. I mean, I'm
his
talking
knowledge
Yeah.
itself. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
like it's ridiculous.
Wait. When he comes to work with you, he drives out here because he don't fly.
Yeah, he drives.
This the only person I know. If he go on
He
tour,
like John Madden.
he takes a boat. If he gotta fly, if he gotta go
go to
overseas,
Europe,
he gets on a boat. He's not getting on a plane. He's gonna get on a boat to go to Europe. This is real.
Has anybody ever asked him about that?
I did.
What did he say?
He just don't like to fly.
You can get sick on airplanes.
John
Is
Madden
that what it
and
is?
DJ Khaled don't like to fly,
Yeah.
but he flies now. But he didn't like it.
I think Karras on flies now. Next time he come over, I'll definitely ask him. But he in Europe now. He on a Europe. He been over there like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but I did a couple joints. One of which was a Dr. Dre song I had to remix because they couldn't clear the sample. So damn, man, that was hard because I was like listening to like trying to make something at that level is like not very easy. But I mean,
you got that shit, Benny. Fuck you talking about?
Nah, bro. It was like 90. So okay. So a couple joints with Karras one. Me and Big Twin from Infamous Mob. We got some more stuff coming up. I have I'm just putting out like a beat tape, but it's also gonna have some MC. Like I have Rock Marciano on there. I have Prodigal on there, Prodigal Son, Killer Priest to be on there, Big Twin to be on there. So I got that coming up.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So I mean, I got a variety of stuff coming out, but you know, it's just music. Like I just like doing music. Like that's the shit that I do. But you know, other than that, I don't really, whatever.
What about your social media handles?
At
where can people find you?
At DJ B Original everywhere.
Time out. I just asked the fucking question. I said, what is your social media? Yeah.
But he has a .com though too, so it's not just social media,
But
nigga. You can
that
go to his
included
website.
Everything. Shut the fuck up.
And you knew he was. What I like is he threw out an excuse. Like when he asked his question, it had a different meaning. Right. Well, he got his social media and he got his .com.
Exactly, nigga. Like everywhere they can find you.
Where can they find you?
Okay, so DJBOriginal.com, Instagram is DJB Original, Facebook, DJB Original, and then I have a small little independent record company, Sound Unity Entertainment, and that's SoundUEOnline.com. Instagram is sound underscore Unity underscore ENT. I think that's I don't even know because I don't do this. I don't do Instagram that much with my record company. Because nobody cares about record companies anymore. Nope. So it's just a business model for me to put music into so I could sell it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it really is,
Build the content.
Well, we do appreciate you coming through, stopping by, dropping
some. Are there any parties coming up? Wait, before we do that, any parties coming up?
I got a comedy show coming up.
Where? When?
I think it's at Los Globos. I think it's black. It's like black and Latino comedians, and I think it's August 25th.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll let you guys know.
Okay. For sure.
Other than that, just random stuff here and there.
Gotcha.
Well, we do like to thank you for coming through, dropping some knowledge on us about real estate and business and whatnot and investments. And, this has been another episode of Barbershop Talk Like This. I'm your host, Trey the Barber.
And this year, the host, Dicethebarber.
Kush over here on the other hand.
DJ B Original, St. Louis, Missouri. What up?
What up? All right, and we out this bitch.
Peace.
Shout out to Paul.
Show me.
Well.